I'm a little early just to finish setting up. Let's see here. How you guys doing? Probably a little lower. There we go. Hello Heidi, how's it going? Are you ready to get bacon for our macaron class on Saturday? Make sure that I'm able to see you guys' comments. Hi from Panama. Hi Cheryl. Hey Zena, how's it going? Yeah, hi Zoe. Hi Victoria, Monica. I'm doing my school. Abigail, are you in school and you're streaming this? I love it. Salt Lake City, hello Tina. Okay, I'm a little early today. We've got a lot to do. Oh, thank you. I got it for Christmas last year. Merry Christmas. Was that Lisa? It went fast. Lisa, yeah. Oh, thank you. Let me get them out of the freezer actually, and we can look at them so we know what we're making today. And then also, we're gonna be making the parts. So I'm doing this macaron class on Saturday. You can still get tickets if you want. It's a Zoom class, and we're gonna bake the components today and then just leave them and then decorate on Saturday all together and just have a baking party. So we've got roof. We're gonna be making the roof, the sides, and then we'll be making the trees and the gingerbreads. And if I have extra batter, we'll do snowman as well. Heidi, you're gonna split into 4. Are you gonna do red? I wanted to just do a red roof for macaron color, but it's so hard to get red if you're splitting your batter because I feel like I prefer a powdered color for my reds. And so I always get like a pinkish if I do a gel paste for my red. Because I don't like to put a ton of coloring in. So either way, I just did it with royal icing red on top and did all like that gingerbread brown color for the base. Hi from Guatemala. So yeah, we'll be making some components for this and then we'll be decorating on Saturday. If you guys want to join that class, you can sign up. It's via Eventbrite. You're not late at all. Am I late as always? No, you're not late. So Eventbrite, the link is in the description of this video if you want to join. It's just going to be decorating and feeling joyful and having some relationship building as well as macaron house building. So that'll be fun on Saturday. But today, we've got 5 minutes before we start. I'm gonna go grab the macarons out of the freezer just to show you guys the Christmassy macarons we'll be making. Macarons. Sorry, okay. Wish I could join Sarah. Oh, I bet Susie said she wished she could join. Tons of baking. I totally get it. This is the busiest time of year for those who have their own business for baking, or if you're just doing it for friends and family. I get it. It's a super busy time. This is just for fun if you have time to relax and do some therapeutic building together. I thought it would be a little change of pace from the whole concept of macarons. They're quite thrilling, I guess you could say, and the opposite of relaxing. So actually just building is really fun and relaxing. So I don't know if I'm gonna have extra batter to do the little beanies today. So I don't know if I'll do those, but we will do a couple little gingerbread. Hi from Arkansas. We'll do some of these little trees that I posted on Instagram if you have Instagram. And I really like the texture. I don't know if it shows through the screen, but I don't make it look nice and smooth. I like texture on my trees. So I'll show you guys how to do that. I don't think you can tell with the lighting. And then we're not going to be making ugly sweaters because I don't know how many people want to make the ugly sweater macarons, but these were so much fun to make. Hilarious. But we will, I'm hoping I have enough batter to do our little snowman as well. So, we'll do the little snowman. While the first tray bakes, I can answer questions. So I'm gonna get started, and then, because we have a lot to do, I'll get started, and then while the first tray is baking and when they're all resting, the shells take a lot longer to rest. I like your ugly sweater. Yeah, the ugly sweater is my favorite thing because it jingles, and I just smile all day long when I'm wearing it. Okay, so I'm gonna get started, and then I'll answer questions. So you guys chat away amongst yourselves. I'm gonna just make the mats, and then when they're drying, I can answer specific questions. And while they're baking, the first tray I'm gonna bake will be like the little ones, the trees and such. And then the second tray I'll bake are the big pieces of our macaron house. So then I hopefully will have enough time to show you the royal icing decor when the second tray is baking. So that's the goal. Okay, so if you signed up for the class already, I gave you a template, and it has all the pieces you'll need for making the house components. So you'll have the front macaron, the 2 different roofs, and the 2 sides. I also gave you a template for the door, this little decor up here, like the window cookie, peppermint cookie thing, and the gingerbread men and trees. So that's on this page here. You can see the little gingerbread men and then the tree template. And then if you're signed up for my newsletter, everyone got the snowman, the snowmen, people, whatever you want to say, template. Okay? Just remember, if you're doing a 3D structure, you have to do 2 of the fronts, 2 of the sides, 2 of the roofs to make it whole. That makes sense, right? Okay. And what else? Oh yeah, I was gonna say something about tips. When you are doing small detail, make sure you get appropriate size tips. So for like the gingerbread, I always set out what I want to use, and I used couplers, so I can switch out different have my same color and be able to do the finer details with the same bag. So all you have to do is switch out and be like, oh, I need a thicker piping tip. You undo your coupler top, and then you can switch out your tip without having to get a whole nother bag. Hopefully that makes sense. Flower girl. Yes, I love all her bags. You guys know this. I'm like a little spokesperson for them. I know, autocorrect. I get that too. I also, if we have time, hopefully for the royal icing decor, I also do that with couplers for the finer details. So you can always just switch out a certain tip and use a different one if you want more texture or something like that, which is really a lot nicer than having to utilize like so many different bags. All right. Hi, Lori. Happy Wednesday. Let's get started. And I am going to whip up my recipe here. The egg whites. I'm using 125 grams of egg whites. So if you just go to my normal Macaron 101 video, it will have, hi Victoria, it will have my base recipe, and I'm just doing a larger recipe so I can make enough for this whole thing. If you got the class for Saturday, this is the same batch size that I'm making with that. So I'm just going to use my normal French method today, and I'll be splitting my batter into 3 different colors. I'm going to be making brown, white, and green. Hi Paula. Hi Alina. Prasanna, hello. Maze Max, hi. You're selling tons of those. Oh my goodness, I love seeing everyone's chocolate bombs, like the hot chocolate bombs. I'm nice and foamy. I'm gonna put in some of my sugar. Everyone is just rocking those hot cocoa bombs right now. Like I usually do, I just get it nice and foamy, put in some sugar, egg white powder, let it dissolve, and then add my other additions. Victoria, if you're asking about these bags, they're from the Flower Girl shop. It's shoptheflowergirl.com if you want to check it out. I've seen a lot of people also like NY Cakes or something. They're reusable piping bags. I've never used them, but a lot of people have those too. Okay, all my sugar's in 2 additions. My kids, someone asked how I find time to do this with my 2 small kids. They are downstairs in the basement watching some television while I try to knock this out. So hopefully they have a early release day on Wednesday. Hi Corey, yay, I'm glad you could make it. They have an early release day on Wednesdays, so that's why I've switched it to Wednesday afternoon, because when they're in class, it's not possible. They need too much help. Hello from Saudi Arabia. Hi Michelle. Hi Magdalena. This is an artisan kitchen aid. I've had it for over a decade. It makes a little bit of a funny noise at this point, but it is my baby. So it's a small batch. I also have an 8-quart mixer, which was great when I was in larger production for the farmers markets. Oh my goodness. Why, thank you, Corey. Hopefully you're talking to me and Santa back here or something. Okay, so let me get you guys closer real fast. Just sort of at that spot where the egg whites are very liquidy, very white, and the sugar is dissolved. So I'm gonna start upping up that volume and turning up my mixer to about 4. I was at a 2 to stir it up. Hi Dana! I hope it works this time, Dana. You're in class 2, Magdalena. Andrea, hi from Romania. I really shouldn't try to read on the screen because my face looks like hilarious. I don't know either. Does Facebook not, does I don't know if YouTube allows you to like tag their name, is it? Hi, Alicia. Okay, so we're just mixing up our meringue right now. Hi from El Paso. Hi, Edie. Hey. Yes. Nazanin, do you have a trick for us? I mean, all your Macs are looking fabtastic. Fabtastic? That's a word. Not too late, you guys. I'm just whipping up the meringue. I haven't even started with the good stuff yet. I'm just building volume right now. I'm on a 5, actually. I'm in between 4 and a 6. Bye. Magdalena's going to class. I'm going all the way up to a 6 now. I'm just going to leave this white, no tricks. And then I will split my batter and do the different colors. Oh good. Dana was saying above that she is trying the salted caramel recipe, and I did recommend a stainless steel pot for that. If anyone's having trouble, it's really hard to see how brown or how amber your salted caramel gets when it's not in a stainless steel. And I feel like stainless the Teflon or whatever, that coating of a non-stainless steel, the non-stick ones, can really cause issues with crystallizing. So stainless steel is better for caramel. Thanks for being here, Stephanie. Alright guys, it's starting to see a little bit of striation. Let me bring you in. So it has a little bit of volume now. I'm just continuing to develop that volume and the strength. Hi from Germany. Oh, you don't have class today. Okay. Yes, I added my sugar, Amy. I've got my sugar. I put it in 2 additions, and now I'm just whipping this bad boy up to stiff peaks. Hi, Deborah. I always got bananas in the back, don't I? I have some royal icing back here. And I never want to use up a ton of Tupperware. So I usually put multiple colors in one. And then just remember to remix if you're storing your royal icing. I just kind of layer saran wrap in between the 2 layers and save some space in the refrigerator. I'm so excited, Corey. I sent you the template. So hopefully if you wanted to bake right now, you could with us. Magdalena, I love hearing that. Keep on baking, girl. I'm still on a 6. Going up to a 7. So I'm in between 6 and 8. colors. Maricolor. We've got a Maricolor and a Chef Master today. One second, guys. Okay. We've got a whisk. We've got our meringue around our whisk, which is great. Nice and stiff. This is where I like it. As you can see, the striations stay put in the bowl. This is super, super stiff. And then if I were to put my whisk around in that bowl, it would be stiff at every spot. That's the key. You don't want it to be loose on the outsides. Now, let me get this out of the way and fix my camera. Taste test? No thanks. Not with this guy. My kids would really want to though. Okay, so I switch out to my bowl. Someone was asking me about my spatula that I use, and I think they actually ordered it on Amazon and then they didn't like how stiff it was. So FYI, I like a really stiff spatula, like my meringue. So if you prefer, I know a lot of people actually prefer the nice and flexible spatulas. It's a total preference. It's not gonna change anything. It just all depends on what you feel comfortable with. So this, if you like a stiff spatula, is on my Amazon storefront. If you like a more flexible one, then you can not purchase this one, okay? I don't know about the flexible ones, but don't waste your time with this if you don't like a stiff spatula. All right, so I'm gonna put you guys down a little bit. I said spatula so many different times. Okay, now I'm gonna be super careful here when I'm putting in my dries not to deflate my batter, especially because I want to mix a whole bunch of different colors from one batch, right? You don't want to take too long to do this because we all know that, you know, our batter does start to break down with more time, especially with the front. Okay, am I back? Okay, quiet. Okay, good. Someone called me. I apologize. I need to turn it on. I'm putting in more. You guys didn't miss anything. I'm back, I'm back. Can you see me? Okay, good. All right, so I'm still going. Penelope, quiet. So the main thing here is just to get all those dries that end up on the bottom, kind of push them into your batter so they're not just hanging out at the bottom. Because this is a bigger batch, I'm doing it in a couple more additions than usual. I've got a nice big bowl for this larger batch. You always want appropriate sized. If I was doing a tiny batch, I usually get a small spatula too, just to make sure it is appropriate for the size. Okay, so I'm gonna add my last addition of my dries, which I previously sifted. This is my almond flour and confectioner sugar. All right. My dog's name is Penelope. We call her Penny. And then we also have Bella. I'm all fuzzy. You had 4 ads. I thought there weren't ads during a live. Am I fuzzy for everyone? Okay, I'm still working it in. Clear here, okay. So I'm still working this bad boy in. I'm not, notice how I haven't like pushed down anywhere, right? I'm not trying to deflate. I'm just working the dries in. Every once in a while, take it off your spatula because all the dries clump up there. And just continue to kind of tumble. You know, remember the live that we just tumbled the entire time and I had interesting macarons? So you can just tumble it and make sure the dries are incorporated evenly too. You don't want like clumps of dries and then when you separate your batter, some of it to be more meringue than the rest of it. So, okay. So we're at a super thick consistency. It's not even going to fall off my spatula. Good on my end. Perfect. Okay. So it's not even falling off my spatula. Very thick. This is where you want to split your batter. Aw, bunny named I had bunnies when I was growing up. I loved them, but they ran away. Okay. So I want most of my batter to be brown. So I am going to put you guys down a little bit more. So you can see this. Oh, I can't. Okay, so I'm gonna do most of it brown, a little bit green for my trees, and then I'm gonna do some white for the snowmen. Okay, I think that should be good. If you are doing this for the class, I know a couple of you guys are right now, then I think Heidi, you had a plan already, so that's great if you want to split it into 4, but you don't need the white. This is just for snowmen, for showing you guys more character macarons or wintry themed, holiday themed. But green and brown are definitely ones that you want if you're in the class and you're preparing all your stuff. Just make sure you have enough brown for the big structures, and sometimes you can even do like 2 of each. Well, you definitely want 2 of each, but maybe an extra side piece or a roof just in case if you have extra batter at the end to do extra pieces. Okay, so this is gonna be white. We're gonna leave it here. This is gonna be green. I'm gonna work with the largest one first and do the brown. I've got Buckeye Brown, which is Chef Master. It's like running out, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get any out of it. My second choice is Chocolate Brown by Macaron. It's a little too reddish for me, red tinted, but yeah, I'm not gonna get anything out of this. It's garbage. My Buckeye Brown is my preferred. Goodbye, Buckeye Brown. Okay, we're gonna go Macaron Chocolate Brown. This works a lot better if you already have a brown base, like with cocoa powder. So it's just, I don't love it mixed with this much white. But okay, we'll go with the brown first. I did 2 drops, like 2 thicker drops. Shake your colors first because they can separate inside that bottle and you can't see what's going on. So I'm just kind of pressing out and then turning it on itself and then pressing out again. Hi, Sari. Is it Sari or Sari? Sorry I was late. I actually didn't, the measure, see how red it is? Like it's not my favorite brown, but whatever. It'll work. You can just use the regular measurements from my Macaron 101 tutorial video. I used 125 grams egg whites just for a larger batch today, but it's the same ratios. So when I do character macarons, it's depending on what I want. Like I said, I like having that texture in my trees. So when I do the green, I'm gonna make sure I don't mix too much where it's not gonna keep its point. So I'm okay with this for, let me see. So I guess you could, I hate to say I undermix, but I kind of undermix a little bit. This is a good flowing consistency for my big guy. So I'm gonna use, I thought I had a larger. Okay, so this is a 12 Wilton tip. This is for my brown. Oh yeah. 12 Wilton tip. I think that's equivalent to a 9mm tip. So, just check one more time because it makes me nervous being live with you guys. All right, let's go for it. So again, I have a coupler, so I can change the size of my tip when I'm piping more intricate details, and I don't have to use a separate bag. Okay, so we got that. When I'm doing multiple colors, I just get one prepared, wrap it up, stick it back into my little cup, and just let it rest. Now we're gonna do green. Like I said, you don't wanna take way too long, but the egg white powder will help sustain your meringue a little bit longer. I did 1 drop of mint green and 1 drop of forest green. Yes, it's humid here too. It's like 90% humidity today. Small spatula, small bowl. Can you guys see the mixing? Just kind of incorporate the color first, let it get through it. Oh, as I get it on my finger. And then start to deflate. And again, I'll answer you guys' questions because I've definitely fallen behind with those once these are drying, okay? I just want to make sure we're not here for 3 hours today. I know we don't got time for that. Okay, so I mixed it in and now I'm going to deflate purposefully. And again, remember how I said I want the texture of the trees? So I want to make sure I have a little bit thicker of a batter consistency than my normal when I do circles. This is definitely a more flexible spatula. A little bit more, and I think we're good. I might have done too much white actually for our snowmen, but that's the hardest part. I feel like when you're doing a certain design is allotting the right amount of batter to each color. Still not flowing at all. All right. We're gonna go with this. That's great. Okay, so then I put like a little thing that says green, just so I remember what size tip I want for everything. So this is a smaller tip. This is a 6, Wilton size 6. And again, coupler on there, so if I wanted to switch it out, I could do a different color. I mean, a different size, sorry. All right. And for our last color, or our lack of color, the white, I don't add coloring to it most of the time. Let's go for it. Here's our last bowl. Little spatula, it's a little snowflake. And just going to deflate it and hope it didn't sit too long before we worked with it. No, we should be good. With that egg white powder, it really does give you more time to play with your batter before it starts to break down. But you definitely don't want to like take your time, because this batter is sensitive to just sitting around. The strength will start to break down and you'll get cracked macarons, really fragile tops, and it's just not as, it wouldn't be like a perfect batch. I'm gonna go a little bit more with this guy. Yes, the dough scraper, this little guy is really nice. I love it. Definitely helps you get, I mean, it works your batter a little bit more when you push your the end of the batter back up, but it really helps you utilize all of that batter inside your piping bags. A little bit more, and I'm gonna be happy with this guy. Just a little bit. Make sure you always get the bottom of your bowl. You don't just work one area, you're working all of it. It's hard with like such a tiny little bowl, especially when you're going from a big bowl in the same batch to a small bowl. Definitely has a different feel. I'm shaking. All right. Here we go. Feel that this is gonna be it. Guys, I'm shaking so much. Sometimes it's also hard to get like an actual flow when you have such a small amount and a small spatula, but this is good. So I've got a larger tip, no coupler, for my, I think this is a equivalent to a 12 Wilton, but it's not my Wilton brand ones. Just gonna get this in here, fill her up. Snowman ones. I find it harder to do small batches, like to macaronage properly when it's a tiny batch. So if you are doing large production and you want to split your batter into 3, but you have 3 nice big bowls of batter, I think you'll yield a better success than when you're making tiny little different batches. Okay, I'm gonna start with my brown and do those large pieces for the Macaron gingerbread house for the people taking the class on Saturday. And then we'll get to the smaller character macarons. I also like the couplers because then your tip doesn't fall down. Like my tip always falls down in there when I don't use the coupler. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited to show you guys. So I've never had like a cool scribe, and Jaslyn from Sugarholic Girl mailed me this, and it has like an N on it. There's another one too. And so I have this scribe, and I also previously bought a Flower Girl scribe. So now I have 2 cute scribes, and I'm so excited. Things you never thought you needed, but like really make you happy when you use them. So I'm excited. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna bring you guys down. In the beginning, I shared what these templates look like, but let me show you again. So we've got front of the house, the roof, the side. I'm gonna do this quickly because I don't know how many people. Oh, Dana's here. I think Dana and Corey are here for the class. And then Heidi's here too. Okay, so I'm gonna show that first, and then we'll go to our smaller character, holiday character max. So we've got, when I have like a tiny one here, so I'm just gonna do this. Usually, I don't bake huge macarons with small macarons. I don't recommend it, but because this is going to be made into a house and not eaten, I don't care. But if this were to be eaten, I most definitely would not pipe such large macarons with small, because you're gonna have tons of overbaked, like all of the little things are gonna be overbaked, right? So all you do is an outline, and then you're gonna fill it in. When you do shaped macarons, you just wanna make sure nothing is too thin. When it's too thin and brittle, here we go, sugar hologram. When it's too thin, it gets, well, if you're eating them, it's not as good to eat. It's just like there's no bite to it, it's just a crisp. So you wanna make sure, even if you have a small tip, that you're getting it nice and thick. So I'm just filling out to the sides of my template. I go a little bit before my template ends, and then I fill it and then kind of use my scribe to make sure it is smooth, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Right now I'm not worried about the smooth, I'm just trying to fill it out to the rest of my size of my template underneath. This is so fun using this. I didn't see Jaslyn in here, but if you're here, thank you so much. I've always wanted a fun scribe. One of these is gonna be in the back, so you don't really have to worry. You're gonna put a door and attach it on front, so it doesn't have to be the smoothest. If you can tell here, you can't even tell it wasn't that smooth when I piped it. So it really, you don't have to be perfect here. It's way better not to waste time than to try to get it perfectly smooth. Okay? Smack it vigorously. I like that. Okay, so I'm gonna move, can you guys see this? Yeah. Going a little bit before my template, inside my template lines, and then filling it all in. And then you kind of push it out to the template lines too when you're doing the insides. And again, make sure you don't get too thin. Okay, I'm gonna do the roof as well. It's always hard to get a perfect square with macarons. Don't worry about perfection. When you build the house, you won't be able to tell. You just want to be able to have it even enough where you can build it, you know? So let's put it out. So we've got our roof, our sides, and then you have to double that. You got to do the other sides. And I'll try to go fast for the sake of those not taking the class. You could definitely try to make this at home and print out your own template though, if you're not wanting to take, or you don't have time to take the class. Because honestly, it is the best centerpiece. And if you're doing like markets, how fun to put that on your table. Ugh, it's just so fun. Okay, so I'm filling that out. Just don't, like I said in a previous video, you don't want to push down on the edge to ruin your foot of your macaron. So just push from the inside and kind of make sure you're getting close enough to your template size where you will be able to have a house that stands. Okay. And let's do the other side and get to our shapes. So, another roof. You can print the template out twice or trace on a different piece of paper and like have it ready, or you can move your template from underneath and move it over so you can pipe it again. I don't know if you guys have like pipe de croix or anything like that, which is sort of like macarons, but like hazelnut de croix is like a cake more so, with that same meringue base and almond flour and stuff. And it reminds me of that because you can usually see the circles when you pipe those types of cakes. Okay, let's see. Just gonna spread it out and we can go to our other sized fun things. Who would try this at home? I made a larger one last year and realized that the smaller is better because of the expense of these ingredients. But they honestly, it's so fun. My kids love it as decoration, and then we smash it at the end of the holidays. Oh, thank you, Alina. Okay. So just remember, if you put a template, any template underneath your paper or your choice of mat, just remember to take it out. So I'm going to switch out to a little bit smaller of a tip so I can do the door right here. Guys, I'm shaking so much. So door is just gonna be like a little bit of a arch and then a little rectangle, and then the door mat, a little, try not to say the word I usually use, just a little half circle. There we go. All right, and that is all your main pieces for your gingerbread house. Smack it one more time, take the template out, and you're done with it. And then we will let these dry and do our character marks. So I have the trees and the gingerbread men here. The gingerbread is really thin, so it's hard to see. And then the snowman over here. So let's start with the trees so I can show you guys how I like to pipe the trees so that they have more texture on them. So, I put it back all crooked. I just do dots. So I start from the very tip of the tree and do a nice thick dot relative to how big the tip is. Make sure it's not super thin, like I said previously. Then 2 dots. Let's see if I can not shake so much. Then sometimes you can get 3 dots. Just kind of keep going with the dots all the way down. Sometimes it won't be like more dots on the other line because of the angle of the tree, but just keep going and make sure it goes to the line. Make that last one just a little bit fatter if it didn't make it all the way. You just want it to be nice and triangular. And then get your brown again. I'm shaking so bad. And just do a little dollop of daisy. And you can just kind of, I like when I have two colors meeting, sometimes I'll get cracking. So I just like to put my scribe and run it over them so it kind of melds them together, and I feel like I get less cracking. My green looks really wet. Oops. It looks a little wet, so I'm hoping it doesn't crack. I mixed it more than I should have. So just dots. And then afterwards, I decorate with royal icing for the lights. And the string lights on them. You could do so many things with these though. If you like fine detail with your macaron batter, you could do the lights and everything and the string lights with your macaron batter. I saw Jody from the Purple Cupcake. She did royal icing, like the string part of the lights, and then just covered it with sprinkles, the royal icing that she piped. I thought that was genius, super cute, because who doesn't like sprinkles? Guys, I ate lunch and everything and I'm still shaking. Okay. I can't even pipe right now. Woo! I don't know why I'm so nervous right now, but you guys get the gist, right? Super fun. And then just kind of don't even pound out your tray. If you have to pound it for like your other things on your tray, that's fine, but I try not to pound my tray at all when I do these, just so it keeps the points. Just kind of meld those two colors together on your little corner. And then that will only yield us two actual cookies, but for the sake of the gingerbread house, 4, because I don't pair them together. So now we've got our gingerbread man. So I just do the head, and then I bring down I never stop pressure, and I just kind of bring down and fill out my entire template of my gingerbread man that's underneath there. And then I'll take my scribe and fill him out to the edge of the template. I always go a tiny bit in, piping inside the lines, and then fill it in with my scribe. So then you got that little, can you see him? Little gingerbread man. Yeah, okay. Let me do this guy here, and then we'll do our snowmen. Snowmen are nice and easy. Can you see this? Yeah. So I'm just gonna pipe my circle for the head, and then without like restarting, I'm just continuing to press, go up to the arms, and then go down, up the feet. So I'm just filling in the template. And then take your scribe and just work it all together so it fills out the entire outline underneath so that they match up nicely. And voila! This guy's head, I'll tap down here on the gingerbread. This guy's head isn't as big, so I'm gonna try to stretch it, get it as big as the other one. Okay. Now let's do some snowmen. So for the snowman, the white, you're just gonna fill in your circles, right? And then you take your scribe. So, done. You'll take your scribe and you'll kind of blend in where the two circles meet. So again, you don't get cracking. I don't think I'm gonna have enough for this guy. Oh yeah, maybe I will. Ugh. If not, it'll just be like boobs. Okay, got it. All right. So I do want to pound these guys out. So I'm just gonna do it on this side and hope. All right. Then you can take your scribe, clean it off so you don't get the other colors. And I just like to make that line less noticeable and make sure that we don't have any weird feet trying to grow in between here. And that would cause your cracking. So just meld those two things together. I can already tell all of my batter is more mixed than I usually do with this. So it's not as thick as I like. Hopefully we'll be okay. You also will, you can do decor like a scarf on these guys. So if you do have a little cracking, don't get too sad. You can definitely cover that up. Okay? And just remember to take your templates out and let them dry, and then we'll bake them. So let's see. I probably should have piped these bad boys first so I could bake them faster, but let them dry. I have a couple extra things. We have some extra batter, so let's do some beanies. Some green. Let's do, I guess they're gonna have to be green and brown because that's all we got. Not the prettiest colors. Just gonna do the tip. So do the main part of the cookie, and then we can do the brown fluff ball and part that flips over and see how that looks. I'm gonna start my oven to preheat it. Someone, Nancy from Fancy, I think it's Fancy Treats. Why can't I think of her handle? She did these little guys with pink and white and added some royal icing to make it look like a little fluff ball, and it was so cute. So So just add the ball on top and then fill in that I don't know what this part is called. And then do more of your scribe and you're all done. I'll look at you guys in a second. Your questions. So someone asked if you can mix until the macaron, till it's, okay, I don't understand. Jits, can you explain that? I'm gonna put a little snowflake sprinkle on the top. I do not have 2 large sheet pans. Okay, so Corey, you don't have 2 large sheet trays. Split the recipe into 2 separate. How many do you think you could fit on? Let me see. No, you could definitely fit it on 1 large sheet tray and then a half size sheet tray. I just spaced it out a lot because I put those snowmen on mine, and you don't have to make snowmen for our class on Saturday. Trying to get the sprinkles out, just like a couple different colors. There, little snow beanies, very strange colors together. All right. So let's see here. Can you use Teflon? You can definitely use Teflon. Hi, Jeremy. Nor, did I not answer a question, or are you just not? Let's see. Yes, thank you. I used French method. Where are you sprinkles from? These are from the Flower Girl from Sweet Polita. Sorry, the light is awful. It came in like a pack of 3. So it was just fun little sprinkles. So those are Sweet Polita specifically from the Flower Girl shop. But I don't know, I'll just do some circles because I don't want to bore you guys with more of the same stuff. Again, if you are using a template, make sure the brown is like the only batter consistency that I really like. So I'm crossing my fingers. I'm praying to the pastry gods, guys, that these come out today. All right. You definitely don't want to waste the batter, right? So let's do some more circles. This piping tip is way too small. When you have this small of a piping tip and you're trying to pipe something like this, you work the batter so much more when you try to squeeze it out of the small tip. So just know that it will do a number on your batter. So I'm taking the tip off and I'm just gonna use the coupler. Let's see how that works. That does not come out nice. Experiments always, guys. But it, all right. So I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna check your guys' questions and everything. And hopefully we can get something baking so we can decorate too. Okay, I'm gonna just let these chill out. Okay, so if you guys can see, I'm gonna have to bake the larger ones first. It's unfortunate, but the trees kept their points, right? So once they bake up, it'll be a little bit less pointed, but it's still really fun to have a little bit more texture on your trees. And then you could do sprinkles directly on that if you didn't want to have to worry about royal icing at all. On your wet piped out trees, just add in some sprinkles, make sure that they're not like non-peril or something. Make sure they're not ones that will melt. Sugar, spice, and fairy. Did you change to your other account? Let's see. Can I put egg white powder in Italian method? Yes, you can definitely put egg white powder in Italian method. Okay, you did. I was wondering, so you still can't tag people. Interesting. Okay, I'm just gonna wash my hands. All right. I made a big mess. How do you avoid runny batches? You don't mix so much. So I macaronage a little bit more than usual. Like I said, the smaller the batch, the easier it is to overmix it. So don't mix too much. Also, you can make sure your tip isn't too small where you have to push through the tip more, because that also works your batter. I really, Character Macs take longer to dry because you want to get in those. You don't need just the outside to dry. You need also the little crevices, especially with the tree, if you don't want it to crack. So I'm gonna let them rest longer. I wish I wasn't so worried about having enough brown to pipe, so I wouldn't have piped those big ones first. But I'm gonna put those in, and then we might just not have time. If people want to stay, we'll see how my kids are doing. We could maybe do some royal icing decor, but yeah, that was my bad. I wanted to make sure we had enough. So here's our batter from doing our macaron house, right? Don't didn't work. So it is dry. I'm just feeling everywhere, making sure my finger's not sticking. It's a little bit more wet on the last ones I piped. I'm gonna wait 2 more minutes and then I'm gonna put them in. Okay. Some other great products. I will bake these bad boys at, so I preheat my oven to 300 degrees and then I drop it down to 275. So my internal oven temperature actually reads around 290. So I didn't use any white food coloring, James. Sometimes I'll use, the 2 brands that I've used are Chef Rubber. I'll bring them over and I'll show you. And the Sugar Art. They're powdered. They're basically just titanium dioxide. But someone was telling me that titanium dioxide, there's been studies that it's really not good for you. So now I'm just like, do I use it at all anymore? I don't know. But that is what I use. It's Chef Rubber or Chef Sugar Art. Sugar Art. When I make royal icing, I use Chef Master. You do? We're opposite. Nazanin and I are opposite. They've dried really quickly. Wow, an hour to dry. Yeah, we wouldn't be able to do lives if it took an hour, right? Hopefully it doesn't take an hour. Chef Master meringue powder is what I prefer. Super easy. There's a recipe in the class and on my macaron workbook, ebook, if you guys want that. And then when I do different, you know, final decorations, I always like a little bit of glitter. So there's this diamond dust from the Sugar Art. This is not affiliated. I'm not like affiliated with any of these things. Just fun products to share. And then there's also this gold. It's basically the same, but it's a brand that I got at Michael's, I think. Yeah, that's probably it, because you use Swiss method, right? I think it's Sugar Bell is the brand. It's so old that it's kind of, when we moved, it's not that it's old, it's when we moved, my colors bled onto things, so it made a mess. And then one other thing that I really like, the glitter is so, yeah, glitter is so fun. I also love Chef Master pens. These have a fine tip and a thicker tip, and they just work a lot better than the Wilton brand that I had previously. I had these, and they just, they dry out really fast, and their tip is large, and you can't get really nice. Look at the tip. It's like, who thought of that design? So the Chef Master has a really nice, for details, smaller tip. Trying to get a good view of it. So if you guys are looking for a faster way to decorate than royal icing, these pens are definitely it. All right, Max in Florida take forever. Oh, I bet. What brand of white? So let me get that white. So either this, which is the Sugar Art, or this is from Chef Rubber. Is it okay if I use store-bought egg whites and fresh egg whites? I didn't get that, Jeremy. So you're saying, can you add both carton egg whites and fresh egg whites? Is that what you're asking? Okay, I'm gonna pop in my batch. Let's go for it. So I put it for 10 and 10, and then this will probably need about 5 more minutes. So I usually bake the larger ones. It's technically not that much longer than my other macarons, for about 25 minutes as opposed to the 20 minutes for my smaller ones. You don't want to underbake these. This is kind of the critical point if you're trying to build a structure. If you underbake these pieces, they get really soft in the middle and they won't hold. So I prefer to bake a few days before I'm gonna even build my structure, and then leave it out at room temperature in, what are those called? In a airtight container, but leave it out at room temp. And then they kind of harden up too, so that will help even more when you're building. Okay, so we started at 1, so it's been an hour. Okay, I don't want you guys to have to stay too long. I know everyone has lots to do in this busy season, but what other questions can I answer? I showed you guys the sprinkles, the meringue powder. Is it okay? Yes. So yeah, I definitely used a mixture of store-bought or like cartoned egg whites as well as fresh egg whites. You don't want to use, I had it work where you use 100% carton egg whites, but they are way more delicate. There's way more opportunity to get breakage, cracking from your macarons with carton egg whites, and I feel like it's not as reliable. So I recommend a ratio that you find in your environment that works well for you, and only using a little bit to like top it off, so you don't have to maybe break open a whole nother egg white for just like 5 grams. So just top it off with your carton egg whites. In my Macaron 101, I think I give the ratio of how much I would put on the top there. But Jeremy, make sure it has a whipping agent in it. I used to use Easy Eggs was the brand. I don't know if you'll find it where you are, but that was the brand I used. My oven is a conventional oven, no fan. Gotta make sure I just checked to make sure it's not rising really high, because my oven loves to do that. Have you guys ever had your pan go in and then their temperature rises up to, 20 degrees more Fahrenheit? Mine does that all the time because your pan is cold, especially in the winter, and then you put in to the hot oven and then your pilot goes on and just raises the temperature. So that's why I dropped my temperature down to 275, and I hope that it stays around 290 to 300. Okay. Why are you so cute? Thanks, Eric. I don't feel like it when I'm sweating in front of y'all. Okay. I'm pretty good at not making myself cute. Let's see here. Paula, also, you were saying that my macarons dried quickly, and I live in a really humid environment as well. It's about 90% humidity today, and it was raining earlier, and I think the dried egg white powder really helps with that. Let's see, I bought a bag of egg white powder from the store and did not realize it's an egg substitute. Lala, is your egg white powder that you bought 100% pure egg albumin, or is it a complete like chickpea substitute sort of thing? I'd be interested in knowing if that helps build strength, even if it's an egg substitute. You just have to make sure it has no fat in it. Maybe that will be a good experiment to try. 35%. Oh, Heidi, you're living the dream. Okay. When can I start divide the batter to put different colors in? So the Italian method, let's see. Trying to think what I used to do. You have a ton more time to play with your batter with the Italian method. You could put in all your paste or your meringue into your paste and then separate it from there. Just continue to try not to deflate, just like we did with the French method, while you are mixing that paste and the meringue together. I think when I was doing Italian method for my business, I'd only split it into 2, but I did try a really hard way of like calculating how much paste would go into how much meringue and weighing all of it like that, so you didn't even have to split your batter. But it's a lot more work, if that makes sense. So like you just do one meringue and then separate it into different pastes. So you could even try that, but I feel like the math is just too much. Chia and garbanzo beans. Does that? I wouldn't add it to your meringue as a strengthener, but now I might look into that and I'll let you know. Paula, I do not have my egg white. I do not have my air conditioner on, but I do have a heater on. Oh no. Let's see. Thank you, James. James shared what he does for the Italian method. Shaima? Nazanin? Why am I, now I can't say your name and I was saying it just fine before. Now I'm overthinking everything. I hate that because when my macs over dry, I also get messed up macarons. Like I can't do too many trays at once because the longer they sit, the more they break down. At least in my environment, I've never had good luck with having them rest for longer than about 3 trays deep. And then they get really fragile, soft tops. You can't rest at all. So what do? Just really small batches with your Swiss method? So oh no, terrible flavor, Rachel. I wonder what happened. Did they turn out but they didn't taste good? I really dislike when I have beginner's luck because that happens a lot. I feel like when you're super careful that first time you're doing something and then you're like, yes, but you don't learn anything when you nail it that first time. And then those trials start coming and you'll start to learn. And it's not bad. It's not a bad thing not to have success the next couple times. It's just a reminder that, oh, maybe there is more that goes into it and we need to keep making sure we're paying attention to each step. I do know your tiny batches. Oh, you leave the batter in the bag and it doesn't seem to have an issue. When you leave the batter in your bag, it doesn't break down. They do not measure the same. Oh, lavender powdered. Oh yeah, that could be a lot of flavor. Hi from South Carolina. Yeah, Paula, I get really sweaty, but I don't want to put the air conditioner on right now because then we'd freeze out my family. So we put the heat on, but then with the light, and then also I'm wearing a sweater because it is cold, that I start sweating a lot. When you freeze your shells before you fill, do you put them in the fridge to thaw before filling? So LM Perez, I do not. I take them directly out of the freezer. I let them sit on the countertop for about 15 minutes if I have patience, and then open that bad boy up and lay out my macarons and fill from frozen. I've also frozen them directly from a very deep freezer. You just have to be a little careful because they're fragile. But if you do that, you have to make sure that if you're using like a buttercream or a ganache, it sets really fast on those frozen shells. So be careful with that because then your cookie doesn't like sandwich well. There we go. Because your buttercream like gets frozen onto it and then it's not as good. So I recommend defrosting. I'm gonna check my structures. Okay, 10 more minutes. We're good. Let me show you guys. I'm so sweaty. Ready? They're baking up nicely. I've got a lopsided door, which is totally fine. You won't be able to tell when I attach it on. These, you don't have to worry so much about lopsidedness, which is great, but the main structure is not lopsided, just that door, because I piped it funny. Okay. I read about smoked salmon and capers. I have, James, I've made savory macarons. I took a roast beef and I made an onion jam, like a red onion jam, balsamic, and put it on top. And I didn't take out any sugar from the shell. So it wasn't a savory shell, it's just a savory filling. It was strange. It was strange. I wanted to like it so much. I know fancy restaurants will sell them, but they must. They have to take out some of the sugar. And I just didn't try that. But I put on top, I sprinkled on Parmesan cheese, so that like saltiness helped a lot actually. So you could try and then like sprinkle some thyme or something or herbs on top of it so it takes away from that main like first bite sweetness and you're like, what is going on? But I ate like 2 of them because I kept wanting to see if it would start to grow on me. So you could try it for sure. But I bet something more up my alley would be like the goat cheese ones, or something like that that is sweet and savory together, whereas I was putting like roast, like a pot roast inside of one. Bye, Eric. Good luck with your math. Yeah, I agree. With the French method, it's just the batter breaks down too quickly for too many, if you like have too many trays at once. I haven't tried a flavoring for bubblegum, but I hear Get Suckered good flavorings, Dora. So you could try that. But I've never, Loran's, however you pronounce that. I have tried only an oil flavoring, a coffee oil, and it was not good in my opinion. But I don't have too much experience with that brand. Yeah, Jade. There are some like goat cheese and honey filling ones that are sound really fun. I like, you know, a nut, the cheese, the honey. It has all the elements of a fun like charcuterie plate or whatever, however you say that. Charcuterie. I'm not gonna try. And then like just throw in some ham on that. Why not? Unless you're a vegetarian, then don't. But okay, which sprinkles do you use that don't melt? So you can use any sprinkles that aren't going to melt, like you said, that aren't gonna. I just tried these ones, but I don't know what they're made out of. I should have tried them before. I just got these today. These ones might melt, the little snowflakes. If they're, no, they taste like they're sprinkle stuff. So what I do, I'm sorry, I'm not even talking right. What I will do if I want to see if it will ruin my macaron. So good. It's like a grape taste, which I don't usually like. It's just fun getting sprinkles that don't taste like poop, you know? Sweet Apolita's yummy sprinkles. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, I'll take a little frying pan, and you know how you can like toast up spices? I'll try to toast up my sprinkles, and if they start to melt, I know that they're not going to be good in the oven. Oh no, what brand what does that say? What brand did you say for flavor? Sorry. Oh, Get Suckered, Dora. Get Suckered. Ooh, I'm excited, Eni. Do you use Italian meringue buttercream? I do now. I didn't when I was a cottage food business. I would steer clear from meringue-based buttercreams just because it wasn't allowed. But now that I'm not selling and I get to eat them, I use Italian meringue and Swiss meringue buttercream. They are my favorites, especially when you add some peanut butter in there. So good. I love peanut butter Italian meringue buttercream. It is like I could just spoon that into my mouth all day long. Shema, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Don't be too nervous. You're in control. You gotta have confidence when you're doing macarons, I feel like. And when you are doing when you're doing your batter, just make sure that you are not deflating too much of that meringue while you're just mixing in that paste. Do just really nice tumbling of the batter so you're not like pressing your batter onto the sides, and try it from there. If you're really worried, you could try what I said and kind of calculate how much paste would go into, just split your batter, I guess. And then do half your paste in one bowl, half your paste in the other, and then scale your meringue into a separate bowl and make sure you're splitting your meringue in half into your different pastes. And maybe that will be a better outcome for you. Yes, Amy, royal icing can just cover it all up. Oh, so Heidi has a good suggestion. I hope you saw that, Lana. That you can add more of the flavors of cotton candy to make it more pronounced. Do you use a hand mixer? I use a hand mixer a lot of the times. It depends on the size of my batch. Today I used my KitchenAid mixer. I know I follow you already. Dora, I'm glad it was a good answer. I don't know what I said, but oh, hey girl. Oh, I love you guys. Okay. I feel like I missed some people up here. I'm concerned. I'm the worst at pronouncing everything. Some folks have said 40 strokes. Okay, some 40 strokes. I don't know. I've never counted my strokes. I feel like I would forget and lose track. I would be a mess if I tried to count my strokes. So I'm sorry, but someone else, have you guys counted your strokes, and can you tell Rachel if it's about 40? I smell my little teeny macarons burning. The smell of burnt macarons. Oh, so you're mixing in the bowl, Nazanin, and you're doing tiny batches? Is this possible? Guys, I really do need to say, I haven't tried the Italian method after my last live of using the mixer to macaronage, but I'm loving the French way of doing it. I should have done it today, actually. Oh no, I prefer more control when I'm splitting my batter. I forgot what I did today. But I'm really enjoying putting my dries in my French method. It's working out really well for me. Has anyone else started to switch that method and do that more? Yeah, Dana, I feel the same. It's because I feel like I don't know. Each time your meringue could be a little bit different. So if it's not as full or stiff, your batter might break down faster. And then you're like at 40 strokes, but it's really liquidy, you know. But I'm sure you would kind of adjust for that. But that's why I've never also counted my strokes. Okay, let's check out where we're at. All right. I'm gonna just do a couple more minutes, 5 more minutes for these big bums. And gotta go, bye Eni. And then we can put the other things in. I'm sorry guys. taking way too long to show you guys decor. I can prep some royal icing at least. So, Dana, it really is nice. Yeah, rewatch the French method. Don't watch the crap show that was 2 weeks ago when it was my whole family. Oh, hi. Chez Sweet Macaron. I like knowing people's handles so I can kind of put everyone together that's on Instagram to YouTube. Shame? Is that how you say it? Shame? Off topic. To respond to a particular person in... I really don't know how to respond and have them be someone, because I've tried to do an at Dana Armstrong and it doesn't work. Shame or Shame? Is it like... Yes, Dana, I knew who you were. Thank you for sharing so everyone else knows. Just put... Nazanin's like, just put the at sign. I've tried it. It doesn't... Nazan... It is get suckered. Get suckered. There we go. Get suckered. It did? It worked? So you got like notified or something that I said your name? Or I typed your name? Shame. Are you making fun of how I said it, or is that how you pronounce it? Okay. Let's see. I saw my name highlighted and trying to respond. Oh, got it. If you could respond within that. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Jade, I feel like an old lady when it comes to all this stuff. I'm not very savvy with technology, which I should be. I should get on to that. Ooh, I want to get my other Macs in because everything's just drying so much. Okay, I'm gonna get the other ones in today. Okay, Shame. I'm gonna just say it over and over so I can. Sorry. Okay, so if y'all are staying, I know I'm losing everyone because it's been a long time. Here are the different size tips when you're using royal icing. If you've already made it and I'm all manic, and you've already put in colors, just always remix your royal icing after it's sat for a while. So always have plastic over it too. You definitely don't want it to all dry out and then you get these chunks of royal icing in there. Do I have another? Here, I'll just use this bad boy. Okay guys, don't watch me. I want to try these, but I don't. Yes, it's definitely possible without egg white powder. You don't need egg white powder. You can use cream of tartar. If you so please. And that will help a little bit. And then definitely age your egg whites, and that will help too. So I've got some green here. I'm just gonna take a spatula and just kind of remix it because it does separate. The liquid kind of leaches out after a while. You don't need a lot. If you have plastic bags, they're a lot easier, but I don't, so I'm gonna use my reusable ones with tiny, tiny little tips. Let me get this bad boy out so I can finally put the other trees in. So here is our first tray. It's hard to tell because the feet get so small when they're that big, but they're out. Hi Olivia, thanks for watching. So I'm going to use the smallest one for my dark brown. I'm just gonna see if we can do this, if anyone's gonna still be here. Okay. Just get some of your coloring. I was saying that if you have plastic bags, just snip the tip a tiny bit. You don't need even a piping tip for that. So you could even probably make a paper cone and just do a little paper out of, if you look up paper cone on YouTube, how to make a paper cone, usually you use it for piping decor, like with chocolate, but you could use it for royal icing if it's just going to be a little like dot here and there, and save yourself from wasting plastic and having to wash a lot of, or having to wash a lot of these. You've never used royal icing before, Dana? Yes, we're going to use it this class. It's going to be all royal icing fun. I'm going to be gluing our structures together. When you make these structures, you definitely want to let them dry completely before trying to take them off your baking mat, because they are very fragile at this stage. I have to let my oven kind of sit for about 5 minutes before I put the second tray in, sadly. So for this darker green, I'm just gonna mix it and then put it into a bag with a tiny tip because it's gonna be my string of lights where I'm gonna put my lights on. And then I'll put pink and red into other piping bags. Where are we at on time? What time is it? 2:30. Okay. I told my mom 2 hours at the most. This is such a long one. Okay. Okay. And then our pink and our green. I mean our pink and our red. I guess I have, but oh yeah, Heidi. I mean that's working with royal icing for sure. We use the store-bought royal icing too when we make our gingerbread houses from like Trader Joe's and stuff. Okay, some red. Just remix. And Heidi and Dana, whoever, if Corey, you're still here, you don't need to decorate your trees now. We're gonna do all that in class on Saturday. So don't worry about having all that done. That's what we're gonna be doing. I just wanted to showcase one tree or so people know how to do it. So I could use up as much royal piping bags as possible. Here's a little pink. And the size batch in your PDF for the file today, girls who are taking the class, that has a good batch size for the class as well as some extra. All right. Hopefully these didn't rest too long. I'm gonna put them in finally. And these are our pieces. We got our little doormat. That'll just be at the base of our little structure. See the doormat? And then, oh, and I broke it. No, I didn't, but. And then this little piece up here. Oh, it should have been white. My bad. But yeah, we'll slowly get all of our pieces together and it'll be so fun. All right. So, sad to say we have another 15 minutes before these ones are out. So are there any other questions, or should I just cancel this and just show you guys on Instagram the stories? Cover it with white icing. Yes, I will. That's what I'll do. Perfect. You're a genius. Hi, Magdalena. Who can stay? Who's like, I got to jet? Even though these baked for like 25 minutes, this tiny little thing, it's not like brown. Zoe, yay, stay. 5 minutes. Not gonna make it, but I'm happy to have you while you're here. Yes, it's always that fitting time in between the virtual learning. This little dude isn't even browned. It's the same color as everything else. Perfect, I love this days. So I baked it for 25 minutes and it's totally fine. Can you store your max at room temperature? Wow, so they get super hard. They don't mature in the refrigerator. Who said that? Dobson? Dobson? Retired life. One day my children will be out of the house. Actually, that terrifies me, so I'll enjoy this stage. Okay. Live it up, LM. Live it up. For me, please. Yeah, they don't mature fast in the fridge. That's so interesting. Do you feel like maybe you overbake them? Because when you overbake, it is hard to get your max to mature. Maybe you could try baking 2 minutes less. Not so good to be retired, that means. Wow. I doubt you're old. Age is relative, right? Means you've led a good life though, right? Okay, yeah. I mean, Dobson, I wish I could be more specific. Because I have had that's not old. We still got so much living left. But Dobson, if that's how you pronounce your name, you could be over baking, or if you like put cornstarch or something in your macarons, that could be prohibiting it from having that chewy center that is what macarons are all about. Renee, is there a way to send Macs in the mail? I've tried. They do crack. But there are ways to not get them destroyed for sure. There's like these plastic containers that have pockets for your macarons, so those help. I usually ship them from refrigeration, not frozen, because they're more brittle when they're frozen. Put some U-line ice packs with it, single-use ice packs, and there's like these bubble things on Amazon that you can purchase, like pillows of air that you can put in to make sure it's nice and packed. It's so expensive to ship them though. I shipped them a 2-night shipping for someone to like California from here, and 2 days. I think it was 2 days, not 3. It was over $100. It was like $150. It was ridiculous. But they appreciated it, so Oh yay, Jade! I'm glad that it worked out to do the sugar syrup to soften the top. Just soften the part that receives the buttercream, whatever that's called. The bottoms. There we go. They don't mature fast. Let's see. So good to be retired. Susie, great advice. Is there a way to send mats in the mail? Yeah, cottage food wise, you can't send anything. It has to be local. It's all about building up local businesses, the whole cottage food licensing. So you can't sell on those. You can't ship on a cottage food license. What is the maturation process? So Jeremy, after you make macarons and they first come out of the oven, they are pretty crisp. And then once you fill them, sandwich them together and store them in an airtight container for about 24 to 48 hours, they get that signature crisp outside, chewy center that we know and love of what macarons are supposed to taste like. So it's really imperative that you wait those 24 hours at least to eat the macarons made or to sell your macarons, whatever you're doing. I know you're fairly young, so I don't know if you're selling yet, but you're in your prime. Let's see here. Yay, I'm so happy, Jade. Yeah, I've heard that the simple syrup thing, I've tried that and it worked. And then I also flavored my simple syrup. You can kind of like, so the macs that I overcooked were lemon raspberry. So I flavored my simple syrup with raspberry. Did I say raspberry? Rosemary. So I flavored my simple syrup with rosemary. I just infused herbs into the simple syrup. And so it didn't add too much extra sweetness too. So you can even add another depth of flavor with your brushing of simple syrup if you accidentally overbake your macarons like me. Just cooking for fun. Yeah, okay, Jeremy. If you can possibly wait for 24 hours, they are much better. And they really just, the flavor all marries together. The whole thing with the filling is that it also flavors the shell when you let it sit together for a while too. They're baking up. 2 more minutes and then I have to flip the tray. Sorry guys. Okay. I love crispy. Really, Susie? You're like, no, my husband likes them really soft. He prefers like when they're super mature. That's why I think he loves my mixed berry jam macarons the most, because they like, once they get, 4 days in, they get pretty soggy. And hola, oh, hola, sorry. I thought you said holla. Hola. So anyways, he likes them when they're nice and soggy, pretty much. Okay. I gotta do a little dance to get myself going still. Okay. Oh, I don't know Portuguese. Oh, is that someone said that? Okay. I don't know any Portuguese. Sorry. But hello from Brazil. Rio de Janeiro. Woo! That's awesome. I was thinking that. Ooh. Yes, use Kahlua. That would be amazing. So Dana, the best way to practice, let me flip the tray and then I'll share with you guys a good way to practice piping. 10 and 10. So what we did in school, in pastry school, was we would take butter. So I know it's way different than, so this is more for just getting the hang of piping in general. It's not going to spread like the macaron batter. But you can take butter, get it really soft, kind of paddle it even, and then you can work on piping certain shapes just to get the feel for piping. And again, it's not going to be like a macaron batter, but if you just want to practice, it's a great way. And then you can just scoop it up and put it into a container. Like if you pipe on parchment or something, use this, clean it all off, put it back into your piping bag and use again. And if you feel like it's clean enough, you could even use it on your toast later. But there's really, if you're not handling it with your hands, you could totally use it for your own household ingredients. So you don't even waste it. And like we would do pipe shells and different techniques. And I know that's more like a buttercream practice, but it does help you get the hang of just having control of your piping bag. And then you can go back to super simple macaron shapes. Do you think you could do the tree, Dana, with just like dots? You just do dots, so I don't feel like it's too hard. Just make sure you have a tiny tip so you're able to have complete control over it. Susie, that sounds fantastic. Yeah, toothpick or scribe, I feel like they both work fairly similar. I do love my cute scribe though. Instant mashed potatoes. Ooh, Paula coming out with a great tip. Instant mashed potatoes, does it spread like mac batter? I wanna know. Yeah, the gingerbread people take a little bit more of like manipulation of your batter, so I get that. And it does take a little bit of practice. Let me see, what you said? Nicole, it seems the fillings are limited. Pouncer, can you explain what you mean by, so you're making only chocolate macarons, or is that what you're saying? Did I miss something above? Okay, if it doesn't go good with, oh, so do you not think that macaron shells go good with chocolate? I feel like buttercreams they melt at room temp. Are you in a hot environment if your buttercreams are melting at room temperature? Paula, I love that advice with the mashed potatoes. It's amazing. I'm in SoCal. It's kind of warm. Yeah, I get that. Okay. I feel like if they're not in direct sun, that your macarons should be fine. I feel like most buttercreams are pretty sturdy unless they're in the sun in like, 85-degree weather or higher. And then ganaches, I feel like are a winner. But are you feeling that they're too wet? You just need a really nice thick consistency for your ganache. Like for some other ones I did a chocolate ganache, and then you just get some marshmallow fluff and put a tiny bit of, like the tiniest bit of peppermint extract or oil inside, and then you've got peppermint marshmallow fluff with your chocolate ganache, and it's so good. You just make a dam with your chocolate ganache, put your marshmallow fluff in the center, and it's like hot chocolate, peppermint hot chocolate. Yeah, if you have too wet of fillings, definitely dam it up with something sturdy, of course, and then put that like curd or something in the middle with that dam of either buttercream or something that's gonna uphold a little easier. Even my salted caramel recipe, I feel like I didn't ever use it on its own in the summer because I was afraid it would melt at my farmers markets. So I would dam it with some vanilla or chocolate buttercream or ganache. Okay, I feel like this is going on forever, y'all. They're in the oven still, sorry. You make it. You guys have such great advice though. The mashed potatoes thing, I really want to try. We've got our royal icings ready. So hopefully we can show you guys some of that right when these come out. I'll let them cool real fast. We'll decorate and then we'll call it a day. Thanks for sticking with. Yeah, what else did someone recently put into the ganache? Oh, they used a spicy, like a chili chocolate, and it turned out really good, they said. It didn't have as much spice as they wanted, but it gave you like that tingle at the end that makes you keep going back for more because you're like, what is that? So that was fun. You can switch around the chocolate, just make sure it's nice and dark as well, and or switch the ratios out with the cream and do a little less cream if it's not as dark. So many fun things you can try. Just beware that if you do add too much liquid, it could separate. That's the only problem. So how much? Just like a tablespoon or two in it. I haven't tried too much different liquids. Yeah. You know what would be yummy is getting that effervescent kind of flavor from like a champagne into your filling, like a What do you make cranberry color? Good cranberry color. Anyone know? Ooh, Heidi, I like that. A little cayenne. That's a good idea too. So then you don't have to worry about the chocolate. I mix my powders. I've never tried a cranberry color. But a burgundy, maybe, do you have the sugar burgundy? And then you could maybe use one like a pink with it. Yes, Mexican hot chocolate is so good with like the cinnamon and spice. Great idea, Heidi. Give it a nice kick so it's not one note and you can just keep eating it. I bet that's your secret ingredient. Pouncer, I'm the same way. I'll like eat one a week, but I just want to keep making them. They are so fun. Banana with chocolate ganache would be super good. Or bananas Foster's, like caramel and banana too. Yeah. You have to get the right banana flavoring though. Because if you do a really fake flavoring, it's not going to taste too good. It'll taste more like your runts, you know, your banana runts, which some people love too, so. Okay. Also helps not to be gritty. Great call, yeah. That's perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go just tell my mom the kids can come up just so they don't have to be down there anymore, and then we'll decorate once these are out. We got 9 seconds left. Let's just take them out. I was trying to do it and I was too early. Here's where I failed to think my snowmen are so much bigger than the trees. So one more minute, and then I'll take them out. Not watching something. Okay. Just don't want them to feel like they're trapped down there for much longer. Okay. I have to make dinner. You have to make dinner? Aren't you in SoCal as well? You're... Okay, see ya. I'm not gonna give you a hard time. I love you guys. Are you making something delicious that takes a couple hours? I get it. We strive for 5:30. No, you're not making something. Have a great rest of your day, Nazanin. I'm reeling you in to stay. Because they can't cook. Why can't you cook? Just because you're making macarons all the time? See ya. Okay, bye. Okay, here we go. I've been here for 2 hours. Well, thank you for being here. Felt way shorter. I know, I could do this all day, but I feel bad for my children. Friday, can you live stream? I can't on Friday, but thank you for joining today. Dora, you made pumpkin cheesecake? Is that what you said? Ooh, a cheesecake with pumpkin mousse. That sounds fantastic. I bet your kitchen smells wonderful. All right. So, we've got our little gingerbread men. Yeah, in 2 weeks, I'll definitely do a live again. Thank you for being here. I just need these to cool down a little bit, and then we can do the royal icing. Yay, I want to see Dora. Please do. So I'll wait a few minutes. I'll put my last tray in, but we won't have to wait for that. I just want these to cool a little bit, and then I can show you guys the royal icing part. We've got snowman and the trees and the little gingerbread men. Oh yeah, no, once every other week is enough for my kiddos. I have to be down in the dungeon while I do it. Hi, Chance. Okay, so let's see if I can pull these bad boys out. Let me cool these down quicker. I got a little breakage on one of my gingerbread men. Let's have the trees cool faster. Here are some of the structures for our gingerbread house. So they have like tiny little feet, and that's all you need is like a little foot, just so people know this isn't made out of just gingerbread, it's macarons. because you can barely see, but like you can see that it has a foot on it, you know? It's kind of like the little railing. I just find that fun. And then a little foot on your doorstep. Just fun. Oh, I was like, what is this piece here? And then I sprinkle confectioner sugar all over the top. Here's part of the, you just get a little bit of those bubbles from the way I piped it. You could be more careful if that bothers you, but we are not, I'm not worried about that because I pipe like this. I'm excited too, Dana. All right, I'm gonna put these guys in, but they might be over dried. Okay, let's get our feet, our trees. So here's our little trees. We got a little foot on them, and then we still have that texture that I was wanting us to have, so that's great. You pair them up, and they're just the cutest little things. And then we'll make them even cuter really quickly, and then we can say bye. I'll get my green. And we're just gonna make a line. So let's see here. We're just gonna go down just like your stringing lights. Like that. And then we're gonna add our little dots for our colorful lights. So I've got pink, green, red. So here's a red dot. Just kind of space each color out. And then we'll add in the other colors. So we got our red dots. Then we'll put in, this one's a little bit bigger of a tip, so I'm gonna have to be careful. Do little pink ones. A little pink, and then we'll do our brighter green. So we got our dark green here, and then we'll do a nice lime green. Contrast. And that's as easy as it is. It's not tricky, and it adds so much to have that extra texture. Then you can take a scribe and kind of just make sure that tip goes away if your royal icing was a little stiff. Or once it dries a little bit, you could even push it down with your fingertip. There you go. Cute little Christmas tree Max. What do you guys think? You can do this, right? Super easy. Just do our dots for piping, and then a little line and a little more dots for color, for your lights. Okay. For me right now, it is 3 p.m. Yeah. Thank you guys for staying and watching. I know that was a long live, 2 hours. Dora, thanks for sticking around. Lily, nice to see you. Ooh, snow globe Max. I really want to make those. I love seeing everyone's. They are so precious. Snow globes are just magical. And then in Mac form, even cooler. Okay. Thank you so much, Dora, for being here. Susie, good to see you too. Good luck with all your baking. I know you got a ton to do. Thanks for joining the live. All right, guys. Magdalena, thanks for joining. I hope your mom is okay with it. Dana. Yes, Dana, see you on Saturday. And Heidi, if you're still there, see you Saturday. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for joining. Happy baking. Again, if you guys want to take the Mac class and make a macaron house on Saturday, the link is in the description. It's never too late unless it's after Saturday after 10. Okay, bye.